For King Day, we have a high temperature of 66 degrees. Certainly going to feel delightful with mostly sunny skies. Today, we've got the sunshine, but temperatures nowhere near 66. In fact, we're still staying in the 50s right now. Currently 58 here in Houston, 57 up in Cleveland. So a chilly afternoon. Temperatures a few degrees cooler than where we were at this time yesterday. The main reason why I think it feels better today, those winds significantly more calm. Right now, winds for most of us 3 to 5 miles per hour. Now, as we head through the afternoon, temperatures are going to be dropping through the 50s. You can see under those clear skies, cooling down pretty efficiently by 7 o'clock, dropping to 52 degrees. And then as we head over the next several days, we've got some huge changes coming. Tomorrow, beautiful 72 degrees, but a cold front is going to bump us down into the 50s through yesterday. Now, an obvious impact of the cold front is going to be temperatures much cooler today. In fact, right now, we're about 10 degrees cooler compared to this time yesterday. I want to talk about the not so obvious impacts though, starting with water levels. Take a look at Seabrook and you can see water level nowhere near the pier. That's because after a cold front, we've got gusty winds coming from the north and that pushes all of that water out into the Gulf. Because of this, the National Weather Service has issued a low water advisory for the bays. So please be careful. If your boat's not stuck in the mud, you are at an increased risk of vessel grounding. Another big impact from that cold front, that's going to be our tree pollen. Take a look today. It's in the high category, specifically mountain cedar. It is 7 times higher than what we saw yesterday. And this is because of where the mountain cedar is located. It primarily grows in the Texas Hill Country. In fact, there's 25 million tons of trees in the hill country because just to the west of I-35, we've got limestone soils and hilly areas. This is prime for juniper trees to blossom. As a cold front sweeps across the state, all of the winds really kick up that pollen and then it transports the pollen hundreds of miles to us here in Houston. The problem with cedar tree pollen, it gets released in the winter, so there's only a few weeks every single year that we're exposed, which means no matter how long you've lived in Houston, you can't gain a natural immunity to it. That means if you suffer from the cedar fever like myself, take those medications and then try to enjoy our much cooler weather. Temperatures right now sitting in the lower to mid 50s. Right now 58 here in Houston, 56 on the island. If you're heading out to the airport tonight, no problem weather-wise. Clear skies, temperatures dropping through the 50s by 7 o'clock, 52 degrees here in Houston. Let me tell you, tomorrow looks to be a spectacular day. We're talking sunshine, high temperature of 72 degrees. Enjoy it because we are going to see a cold front sweep through on Friday evening. That's going to bring with it a significant drop in temperatures. In fact, Sunday morning, we had gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Today feels a lot better, even though it's colder, because our winds have calmed down. A live look outside, what we would consider a bluebird day across southeast Texas. Plenty of sunshine, actual air temperature in a few spots able to warm up into the 60s. Angleton 62 degrees, 60 degrees out in Brenham as well. The rest of us still stuck in the 60s. But look at these winds. This is a dramatic change from yesterday. Most of us see at most 3 to 5 miles per hour. That's nothing. As you head through the evening tonight, you're going to see temperatures quickly cooling down. So for our joggers, definitely grab a light jacket, already reaching 52 degrees by 7 o'clock. And as we head into tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to be pretty cold in the mid 40s. Lisa, coming up, I'm going to talk about temperatures closer to freezing.
Oh boy. All right.
Yesterday. Now, the obvious impact from that cold front, temperatures anywhere between 5 and 15 degrees cooler compared to this time yesterday. But I actually want to stress on some of the less obvious cold front impacts, starting with our coastal waters. Take a look out in Seabrook. This pier, nowhere near the water. Behind cold fronts, we often see low water advisories. In fact, the National Weather Service has issued one for our bays because the strong north winds push this water into the Gulf, and that's when we see such low waters. In fact, negative tide levels. So if you head outside and your boat's sitting in the mud, It's because of the cold front. Another culprit of our cold front, that's going to be our high allergy count today. In fact, tree pollen is considered very high today. It's 3 times higher than what we saw yesterday, 7 times higher than Tuesday after that cold front moved through. The reason why is because of the mountain cedar that primarily grows in the Texas Hill Country. Mountain cedar, you'll find it west of I-35 because it loves limestone soil and it thrives in hilly environments. When we have cold fronts that push across the state, it ends up kicking up all of that pollen, and as it pushes into Houston, you can see that pollen travel hundreds of miles. And unfortunately, because we only see cedar tree pollen for a few weeks every year, you can't build a natural immunity to that cedar pollen. Instead, you just have to take those allergy medications and wait until we get into late February. Otherwise, we've got beautiful cool weather ongoing. Temperatures currently sitting in the upper 50s and the lower 60s, 59 here in Houston, 56 on the island. As you're heading out this evening, clear skies, temperatures quickly dropping through the 50s. Tomorrow, we're expecting highs once again back into the 70s. Sunshine, 72 degrees. This is ahead of our next cold front. You can see the actual front pushing through Friday evening, which means as we head into Saturday, it's going to be a pretty cold one. A few cold rain showers are possible Saturday evening, but then as we head into Sunday, a high pressure system moves in, and that's really going to bring with it beautiful weather. Our next front, by the way, pushes through on Monday, which means our parade of cold fronts